For anyone out voting tonight, it's going to take some time to cast that vote and even longer to find out results. Stephanie Thomas is at Woodbine Elementary School tonight, where there are lineups lasting for some as long as an hour and a half. Stephanie.
Right, Tara. We've been here for a couple hours today, and we've not seen any let up in this lineup. It stayed consistently long. I'm going to step out of the way and let you take a look for yourself for all the viewers back at home. Now, at the edge of the brick building there, we have been told that that wait is at least 90 minutes long, and that is even before voters can get inside to the building and cast their ballot. And we're hearing that there is likely a process that voters have to fill out for this election cycle. Now, there's only just 3 ballots, however, for mayor, councillor, and school trustee. Last election, it was 1 long ballot. We are hearing as well that voter turnout is already low, with Elections Calgary reporting that 90,000 votes were cast by 4. Now, there are worries that the new process that was put in place by the province may be prompting some voters to leave this lineup. In fact, that's what we've been hearing from a couple of voters. They either had to leave because of work, family obligations, or other plans, including seeing the Flames game tonight. But we did speak to one voter who did just that. He checked on the lineup and said it was going to be over an hour, so he decided not to cast his ballot at all.
Well, it felt like I couldn't get in because the federal elections do in and out in 5 minutes. And this one is a municipal, and something like that could be computerized quite easily. And it sounds like everything is paperwork, and it's taking a while.
Now, if you find yourself at one of the voting stations that has a lineup as long as this one, don't lose heart. You will still be able to cast your ballot according to the returning officer for Elections Calgary. Anyone who's in a line like this one before 8 p.m., before the polls close, will still be admitted to wait the rest of that lineup duration and go inside to cast their ballot. Also, Tara, it's going to take a little while longer before we know the results, as all those paper ballots will be counted by hand after the polls close. Tara.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you. There are, of course, many decisions to be made throughout the province tonight because it is election day in Alberta. Here's what we do know. There's going to be a lot of new faces on council tonight. Our Jordan Canagan has been following this part of the story for us. Jordan, council is going to look a whole lot different when those votes are finally counted.
Tara, it really will. There will be high turnover in Calgary, with the majority of last council deciding not to run again or instead running for mayor in Sonia Sharp's case. At least 8 of the 14 councillors will be brand new, with incumbents leaving their posts. That includes several longtime councillors who will not be back, with councillors Peter DeMong, John Carlo Corra, Sean Chu, and Richard Putman's all gone. That's more than 40 years of combined experience no longer there. And of course, there's a chance the incumbents who are running may not be successful again. And many of those races will be tight.
We've got a large number of wards where we don't know what's going to happen with them. We're also seeing some school board races that are looking, not just in Calgary, but throughout the province, that are looking interesting, because there are a number of organizations that are hoping to have more influence through school councils.
Now, it's going to mean a lot of learning for a lot of rookie councillors. Under new provincial legislation, 2 parts of orientation for all councillors is now mandatory. They will have to hire staff, get their offices in order, learn procedures, and that's all before the new council will have to pass the budget next month. Tara.
Thank you. CTV News Calgary will have complete results, reaction, and analysis live at 11 p.m. tonight. And tune into Your Morning Calgary starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow for more election coverage. Incumbent Mayor Jyoti Gondek is in the political fight of her life. She is seeking to return to the mayor's chair and has faced questions on decisions she made on council over the last 4 years. Tyson Fedor is live at Jyoti Gondek's headquarters tonight downtown. And Tyson, Gondek says she's confident she can pull out a victory.
And Tara, we're down here at the Palomino. Campaign staff have already started to trickle in this evening. Many pretty jubilant here already this evening. This is one of Gondek's favorite places to eat here in the city. And she does believe that this campaign was one that she did run on merit. Now, Gondek, along with her husband, attended Captain Nicola Goddard's school this morning in the Northwest to cast their votes for this election. She says that this campaign was drastically different from 2021, where she ran for mayor for the first time after serving as a city councillor. In 2021, she was unable to speak to as many people in person due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but this time she says she was able to get out in the community and speak with many more. She won the mayorship in a landslide victory in 2021, receiving more than 176,000 votes, good for 45% of the overall vote. Now, however, she did face criticism while serving as mayor over the last 4 years, early on facing backlash on declaring Calgary as being in a climate emergency. Many Calgarians also were upset by the new event center arena deal, along with blanket rezoning. But despite that, Gondek here is confident in returning back to council.
I've spent 4 years helping Calgarians build the future. We have the best economy in the nation. We have the best housing starts in the nation. We are doing things well here because we partner with the business community, we partner with social service organizations, and we get things done in our city. So I'm looking forward to the next 4 of delivering on things.
Gondek does say that this race will be very close, and she's urging anyone who has not yet voted to get out and do so before 8 o'clock this evening. She says every vote will count. We will be here throughout the evening here, Tara, and hoping to catch up with Jyoti Gondek later tonight, and we'll have a bit more reaction later this evening as well.
Okay,
Tara?
good stuff, Tyson. Thank you for that. Let's turn now to Terry Fikowski. She is at Jeremy Farkas's headquarters in Inglewood tonight. Terry Farkas has been considered a front runner in this race, something he's a little familiar with.
That's right, Tara. And tonight really can only go 2 ways for Jeremy Farkas: a political comeback, or what he's hoping to avoid, a repeat of his mayoral loss 4 years ago. Now, Farkas returned on his final day of campaigning today to his roots today, visiting the Dairy Queen, where he worked his first job at 15 years old in Forest Lawn. He says this campaign feels different than in 2021, when he finished second with 30% of the vote. This time around, he's focused on housing, public safety, affordability, and jobs. Now, some critics have labeled him flip-flop Farkas over policy shifts, like his stance on blanket rezoning, which he now says he'd repeal. But Farkas says he's evolved since being elected as Ward 11 councillor in 2017, as have the issues affecting Calgarians. After his mayoral loss in 2021, he hiked the Pacific Crest Trail as a fundraiser, a journey he says changed his outlook. And in 2023, he became the CEO of the Glenbow Ranch Park Foundation. Now, although rooted in conservative politics, like working for the Manning Foundation and Wild Rose Party, he's running as an independent this campaign, distancing himself from formal party lines. I did catch up with him earlier today, and he said he is excited for whatever is next for the city he grew up in and loves.
Look, our next mayor is going to be here to welcome the 2 millionth Calgarian. This is not just a new neighbor, it's going to be a new story, right? So when I think about my own family's experience, my dad coming here as a refugee and immigrant, me growing up right here in East Calgary, that's exciting to me.
Final preparations underway here at Festival Hall in Inglewood, the headquarters for Jeremy Farkas's election campaign tonight. Doors don't open until 7 o'clock, and they are expecting, obviously, a full crowd of people from the campaign team, volunteers, and supporters to come down. And of course, we are expected to hear from Jeremy Farkas on that podium. The question, Tara, whether or not it will be as Calgary's next mayor.
Okay, Terry Fikowski reporting live. Terry, thank you. Let's go to Alicia Fieldberg now. Alicia joins us from Sonia Sharp's headquarters. Sharp has aligned herself with one of the new parties, Alicia.
Tara, Sharp is the mayoral candidate for Communities First, and Sonia Sharp is a lifelong Calgarian, and she has served as the Ward 1 councillor since 2021, but she has worked at City Hall for 20 years, starting in administration, including a role as the manager of business and local economy. Now, while on council, Sharp spearheaded the new Calgary Flames arena deal, dealt with the Bears Paw water main break in her ward, and has been an outspoken critic of blanket rezoning. Now, along with Sharp, Communities First is running 9 councillor candidates, including 3 incumbents. Terry Wong is one of them, and I caught up with him this afternoon while out meeting voters.
The thing that they're all looking for is change. Most importantly, they definitely want to change the mayor. That's a definite situation. The second thing they're looking for is stability. Those are the seniors home board, the Hooney Food Court. Remember the days of Klein and Duran Bronconnier and the stability that brought, and that's what they're looking for.
The Communities First party pledges to repeal the blanket rezoning and keep taxes low. Sharp and all the other candidates are expected to arrive here after the polls close at 8 o'clock.
Okay, Alicia, thank you. Now, both Jeff Davison and Brian Thiessen are a bit on the outside looking in when it comes to the latest polling numbers for Calgary's mayor, but each of them has a wealth of experience as they make their final push for votes this evening. Mark Villani is outside Davison's campaign headquarters, and Mark, the former city councillor, claims that he's the only logical choice to solve public safety and affordability concerns amongst Calgarians tonight.
Well, Tara, Jeff Davison is pitching himself as a proven leader, proposing a citywide task force to clean up our streets, as well as a 4-year property tax freeze that would provide some financial relief, as well as keep Calgary very competitive. Now, ahead of voting this morning, we did catch up with him. He says that those 2 issues alone should be enough for undecided voters to mark an X in his favor for this election, adding that every vote really does count, especially with an anticipated lower voting turnout.
I think, we saw it was a little slower than I think everybody thought compared to the 2021 election when it came to the advance poll. But I think largely in part that was due to COVID. People were just looking for separation, so they got out early. I think this time the debates mattered and people have now made up their mind, and those undecideds are going to have their voice heard.
And Davison certainly heard from Calgarians on Saturday night. His drone show during the Calgary Stampeders game was met with both boos and laughter once fans realized it was a politically motivated message. Davison is back on the ballot after his last bid for mayor in 2021, this time running as an independent. He served as Ward 6 councillor for 1 full term and says he's best known for championing the original Calgary Arena deal. Meanwhile, Brian Thiessen, the former chair of Calgary's Police Commission, he's countering with 3 decades of experience as a labor and employment lawyer, platforming himself as someone who knows how to fix dysfunctional organizations and build strong teams. His campaign visited 14 wards in 14 hours over the weekend, knocking on doors to prove why his affordable housing and safety plans stand out.
We have such a need for housing in this city, and so having a housing toolkit that streamlines the house building process and really looks at solving the housing supply crisis. Public safety, with my history as past chair of the Police Commission, we have a really comprehensive housing first public safety approach, 24/7 mental health and addiction supports. I think that really resonated with people.
So with both Davison and Thiessen trailing in public opinion surveys, they're hoping that their name recognition, their policy depth, and maybe some last-minute support can help nudge them forward. Tara.
Okay, Mark Villani reporting for us.